Live at the finals. It's going to be on NBA TV for games 3 and 4. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, and my next guest, Chris Webber. How you been, Chris?
Hey, doing good. How you doing, Rich?
Congratulations on fatherhood. Love that picture you posted today, Chris.
Oh, man, and thank you very much, and thanks for the advice. When they get older, I'll definitely make sure I watch them around the commercials.
I was saying,
have a little fun there.
Yeah, no, we'll get to those two beautiful babies that you posted a picture on Twitter and Instagram of you holding them literally in the palms of your hands in a moment. The figurative palm in hand, it appears that the Warriors have the Cavs in theirs. Is this thing over, Chris? What do you think?
Man, you know what? I'm one of those guys. I hope that they'll start taping Analyst in the beginning of the year and let us come back and then have to either eat our words or whatever in the end of the year and put us on record too. So I picked the Cavs before the season in 6. I did. I thought that the defense of the Cavs, the fact that they had played together, the fact that Kevin Love was going to loosen up because now he's free to play his game. He doesn't have to look left or right for approval. I just thought all of that was gonna work. And now I'm going to stick with that only because I said it. But realistically, after they played the first 2 games, I don't know how you can say that. Anytime, Durant is the best player on a team that won 73 games the year before. I heard Jeff Van Gundy say super team, and last night was the first time in my life, I really bought into it because I can't remember. Of course, the Lakers, maybe was the last one, and I mean the Showtime Lakers when they had Magic and Kareem and Worthy and some other Hall of Famers on there. But, man, this team is incredible. So to say this, I don't know how they'll come back, but I think last year it was 2 blowouts in the first 2 games too. But I don't know how you could go against Golden State.
Well, I mean, Van Gundy said that Durant and Curry were the best 1-2 punch he's ever seen, if not all time. What do you think, Chris?
Well, first of all, he's one of my favorite analysts. I love listening to him and Mark Jackson. But I was thinking about that, and I'd have to say you can't. Big O and Kareem, when they won it there in Milwaukee, then let's go Magic and Kareem, and then let's go Magic and Kareem and Magic and Kareem. I mean, I think they won 5 together, right? And so, I'm one of the guys that I definitely like people, foreshadowing and forecasting. This is what's going to happen, but to me, that's really hard to say when they haven't won this one yet, even though they're doing some crazy stuff. But to me, it's just amazing. I mean, 2 former MVPs that are this young haven't played together. I mean, that could be true, but Magic and Kareem could be the greatest player of all time. I don't know how we could just throw that, by the side lightly.
Well, then I guess we could say that Van Gundy's giving voice to what you were just saying, and I believe as well, is that we're watching maybe something special blossom. Let's just put it that way with Curry and Webber. I mean, with Curry and Durant. And Chris, I mean, what Durant is doing, what is he doing as a big man all over the court, defending smaller guys, bigger guys, shooting all over the court offensively? What is he doing to make it look so easy from your perspective?
First of all, he's tall. He's 7 feet tall. And I say this to him all the time. Go ahead and embrace it because, the fact that you're 7 feet tall, that embellishes that much more what you're doing. I look up to him, physically when I walk past him. I'm thinking, wow, I used to play against centers that were taller than me this height. So, one, his lateral quickness, his moving, his shooting. The way that he plays, he can be so efficient now. Remember all the one-on-one dribbling and 15 moves he used to have to do to get a shot? Well, now I know from playing with great shooters, all you have to do is give him a little space. Chris Mullin, you give him an inch and just let him have a little bit of rhythm. That's all he needs all night. The same with Apeja and other guys like that. Even to Tim Legler when he led the league in three-point shooting. They just need a little bit of space. And so, one, he has that. 2, he plays in a system that, for me, is so much fun because a lot of that is corner systems that some teams have used before they perfected it, don't get me wrong. But he's playing well in the system. And in my opinion, Draymond Green is definitely a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year this year. But next year, I think we're going to have to say that Durant, along with Kawhi Leonard, are the 2 of the best two-way players in the league. He's showing it defensively. He is their Bogut from last year. He is their shot blocker. He is their defensive presence inside.
Chris Webber of Turner Sports, and he'll be at the finals with NBA TV with Barkley and Shaq and the rest of the gang coming up for games 3 and 4, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Is it unfair, though, I mean, is this a problem for the NBA that we are seeing so far? Obviously, there's more games to be played here in the finals. But is this an issue, do you think, seeing Durant join such a major league, big-time, already successful team and then just destroying the defending champs like this?
Well, first of all, before we get into that, you pulled me into the argument that I hate the most, and I'm actually pulled into it because you guys are making some great points earlier about the Durant and LeBron thing, and I think it's two different things. But not to get into that,
okay.
I don't think it's fair. Well, actually, I do think it's fair because I think that there'll be a chance that you can recruit some great players that if teams really want to win, hate to keep going back to this, but I'm a Lions fan, and they know that they're going to be sold out every year. And sometimes I think that doesn't make the team want to pay luxury tax. Sometimes it makes the team maybe not need to go forward. And if anything we can say is Golden State, with 73 wins, went forward, and either they knew that they couldn't win coming back, and maybe they didn't think Klay Thompson was that second guy, or they just knew that, listen, we're going to risk it all because we want to keep going to that level. So that's one thing. But secondly, Rich, man, I'm just enjoying it. Because I remember when Tyson lost and then came out and I went to his first fight and other big moments, and Barry Sanders' last game, Dr. J. And I remember sitting there and just really saying, I'm just going to enjoy it. And I'm going to remember what popcorn I'm eating. I'm going to remember what I'm wearing, how I'm relaxed. And that's how I feel about this. We never got to if these guys go undefeated in the postseason, for me, of course, you could never be better than Jordan, but that's nostalgia. Of course, you could never be better than the Bulls, but, I mean, when you come down to numbers and really how guys are playing and you look at the skill set of players, because of players before, like Steve Kerr hitting a three-pointer at the end and then kids watching that and then wanting to shoot three-pointers from a Jordan, and, of course, Reggie Miller and those guys, but this is the evolution of basketball. This is seven-footers shooting threes from deeper than, no disrespect to Bird because he just didn't have that freedom, but deeper than Bird. And only because Bird got to shoot him and let us big fellas say, wow, we can do that. Magic got to lead the fast break, and big fellas got, okay, we get to practice that. So to me, this is just all of the great accomplishments of all the players before, and you kind of seeing how it kind of lives out through the players who are the biggest fans in the world. And so I'm just enjoying it, whether it's fair or not. This is some awesome basketball to watch.
Chris Webber joining me here. So what do you think LeBron is thinking today? I mean, because he didn't go to the podium last night, and he did, in my perspective, appropriately parry back a questioner last night saying, "Do you have to hold home court advantage here?" If we don't, we're swept out. I mean, he kind of said, "You're a smart guy, right? What do you think?" So, what do you think LeBron is thinking today, Chris?
I think he's pissed today. I think he's thinking about all the things he could have done better. His teammates could have done better. I think he's watching film, relaxing, staying off his feet, probably hanging with his family. But I know that he can lean on the fact that they came back from 3-1. I mean, the reason why I said I'm going to stick with my saying them in 6 games and it could be crazy or stupid. But when I said it, and two, when I said it, I was banking on the best player in the league, and for many years. And so he still has that ability to come back. He still has that ability to lead players. I'm telling you, it's for stars, and I'm not talking about the 3-4 stars that you have on Golden State, but it's different playing on the road for a lot of guys. It's different playing with pressure on for a lot of guys when you're down 5 and 6 on the road and things. And so, he has to bank on the fact, too, that, everybody bleeds, puts their clothes on the same way. And so I think that he's saying, listen, we can come back from this. And to me, it's all about getting that first, game. If they don't get the first game, I mean, it's no, 3-0 coming back. But,
right.
If they can get that first game, I think he's thinking, listen, we've done it before.
What's happened to Tristan Thompson? Where's he? I mean, he's got to do something. You know what I mean? I mean, that Curry out-rebounded him not just last night, but for the entire series in one game last night.
Man, that's the million-dollar question. That was the one thing, if you looked at the last few series, that you would think, wow. But I think, one, it's the versatility of the players on Golden State. So Draymond can go to the fourth, and he can box out Tristan. Or even you could see them switching and KD go. Or last night, you even saw Thompson and a couple guys boxing them out. And that's the question. If he can't be effective offensively, and this is the new thing, Ben Wallace is one of my favorite players. I do think that Ben Wallace is a Hall of Famer from what he did for the Pistons. I don't think they would have won that without him. But there are no more Ben Wallaces and Rodmans. Can't be. the game has evolved to where you have to be a Durant, where you have to be a player that can do something on both sides of the floor. It's no more, we'll let this guy catch it at the top of the key, and then I'll go all the way back into the paint and help on a Curry. No, you have to be a threat. David West is a threat. Maybe he isn't as big of a threat as others, but you can no longer just be a defensive threat. And so, you know, I think that he has to make himself valuable on the court, and it has to be with offensive rebounds, putbacks, and then playing defense. He has to find his game.
How are those babies, Chris? Congratulations on them.
Oh, man, thank you so much.
What are their names?
Doing great.
What are their names?
Macy Chris, the fourth, and then El Marie. And so they're doing great, and testings and functions are working well because I'm on diaper duty, so all that's good.
Okay.
As long as they're working, they're screaming all the time, but it's the biggest blessing in the world, man, so I'm very happy.
Now, here's the most important thing, Chris, because I know you've been waiting a long time for this, and I know you're a loving, caring individual and certainly going to be a great dad. Will you make them Lions fans? Will you do that?
You know what? That's one of the biggest questions. I've learned with my nephew, Jordan, who was born in Detroit, and then he moved around, and he's just a fan of anybody that wins the Super Bowl. So I've learned little kids are bandwagoners. So I may have to let them be a bandwagon, but around 10, we're going to have a talk, and they're going to have to pick a team that they represent and that Daddy can talk junk to them about, and that they just gonna have to take it and see how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna get that worked out. Hopefully they'll be Lions fans, but I might not be a Lions fan by then, man. My patience is running out.
Well, I was about to say, Chris, that maybe these two things can converge by the time that they're looking for a team. They can be the bandwagon jumpers and the Lions of that team. How about that, Chris?
Hey, I like that. See, it's easy to keep them on with, you know, the Red Wings and the Tigers, but the Lions have been hard, man. The Pistons are getting hard, too. So, yeah, hopefully by the time they get old enough to recognize sports, we'll be back. We'll be back in the mix.
Okay, because if the Lions keep going the way that they've gone, I guess prior to the last couple of years, they might call child services on you if you make them a Lions fan, Chris. So be careful.
Okay. Exactly. But I was thinking of taking my son to Rome to go hang out with Jim Harbaugh, but I said we'll wait till later on that. He might be a tight end.
There you go. Chris, thanks for joining. Enjoy going to the finals. And, again, congratulations on being a dad. Congrats.
Hey, thanks so much. Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Anytime. That's Chris Webber.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that, download our app. Please, just if it's a memory thing, just delete other apps. You don't need those apps. This app, the Rich Eisen Show app, you need that.